He's gonna unload one of his most powerful spells at all of you.
Fuck.
Magic missile.
You killed.
Yeah, that was the hope in case there's a bad roll. We're all together.
Yes, it's probably a good call.
Mm-hmm.
All right, do you want to roll for them? We
might as well do it official.
Yeah.
I'm scared.
Yeah,
I
I'll have you
roll.
each do one. I'll let you guys choose who does the players and who does the NPCs.
Yeah, Brian, you want to roll for us or them?
I'm gonna roll for us because I don't want to. I don't want to kill the NPCs. Okay. Shit.
You can read that there is a contemplation about the others in the room and their responses, regardless of what his answer is.
As in, he's concerned about what his response will be because of the people in the room.
Yes.
I kill everybody else in the room.
So you see that guy shows up and swings at you, and it scrapes across your armor as you cast your spell.
Go. Mithril breastplate, bitch.
So Brianna took part in a nightmare ritual as a child.
Yes.
You feel one of them being activated in the museum.
Okay.
Brianna, I'd like you to make a concentration check to maintain your casting of the spell.
Oh, shit. Okay.
I will treat this as violent motion because this is violent to your emotions.
And I apologize. Remind me again what I'm rolling. Is my charisma ability modifier, or is
this is a concentration check.
Somebody redeem a complication quick.
My
So it's a
apologies.
Has redeemed
Yes!
a complication.
It is a d20 plus your caster level plus your ability modifier.
Thank you.
It is Toivo's turn. Toivo appears, closes his eyes as you explain what's going on, turns its head to look at, or to its head so it's facing the Hound of Tyndalos. So Matt and Brian, you hear the cat just growl real low and dangerous. Nick, you hear meow meow, I can smell you, meow meow meow. Roll your attacks, please.
And as I'm doing it, I hold Tango out on one hand, and I just think to him, or I say in Dinosaur, like King of the World, as we like, and then I like get off like nothing happened.
That's funny. Nick's chuckling at it. Nick probably makes some sort of like, this isn't Titanic. Hit me like one of your French girls, Matt. For generations, the town of Sandpoint stood as a beacon along the Verizian coast, a place of trade, of community, heroes, and resilience. But Sandpoint was no stranger to hardship. It's endured goblin raids, Chelish invasion. It survived threats rising from ancient Thassalon. It's faced devastation from flood and tsunami. Time and time again, Sandpoint endured. Until now. Because this time, Sandpoint did not survive. It did not fall. It was not destroyed. It was not conquered. It simply vanished, leaving behind nothing but strange basalt flats. Gone from the face of the earth, leaving questions, rumors, and a growing sense of unease across all of Verizia.
All right, Majenko flies over. Love Racer, I've got you!
Can he do a flyby heal?
Sure.
Get out! Get out! No! Sure, he'll go right there.
I am sorry, I am trying to be helping, but
What happened to Trinia?
she just disappeared.
I did.
We lost the kid.
I am not understanding. She just got hit by one of those rays and she disappeared. She is gone.
And Arabella said I turned to stone?
You were a statue. Welcome back.
You know what? I just give him a hug. A big
Okay.
jockey hug.
Okay.
This is not the time! Doesn't look like
only
it on
has
our
to.
side.
He doesn't have that. He doesn't have that prepared. He is going to. Oh, he can. He's going to unload one of his most powerful spells at all of you.
Fuck.
Magic missile.
Kill.
Yeah, that was the hope in case we get there's a bad roll. We're all together.
Yes, it's probably a good call.
Mm-hmm.
All right, do you want to roll for them? Should I?
I mean, we might as well do it official.
Yeah.
I'm scared.
Yeah,
I
I'll have
can't
you
roll.
each do one. I'll let you guys choose who does the players and who does the NPCs.
Yeah, Brian, you want to roll for us or them?
I'm gonna roll for us because I don't want to. I don't want to kill the NPCs. Okay. Shit.
You can read that there is a contemplation about the others in the room and their responses, regardless of what his answer is.
As in, he's concerned about what his response will be because of the people in the room.
Yes.
I kill everybody else in the room.
So you see that guy shows up and swings at you, and it scrapes across your armor as you cast your spell.
Go. Mithril breastplate, bitch. So Brianna took part in a nightmare ritual as a child.
Yes.
You feel one of them being activated in the museum.
Okay.
Brianna, I'd like you to make a concentration check to maintain your casting of the spell.
Oh, shit. Okay.
I will treat this as violent motion because this is violent to your emotions.
And I apologize. Remind me again what I'm rolling. My
Your
charisma ability modifier, or
This
is it
is a concentration check.
Somebody redeem a complication quick.
my
So it's a
apologies?
Has redeemed
Yes!
a complication.
It is a d20 plus your caster level plus your ability modifier.
Thank you.
It is Toivo's turn. Toivo appears, closes his eyes as you explain what's going on, turns its head to look at, or to its head so it's facing the Hound of Tyndalos. So Matt and Brian, you hear the cat just growl real low and dangerous. Nick, you hear meow meow, I can smell you, meow meow meow. Roll your attacks, please.
And as I'm doing it, I hold Tango out on one hand, and I just think to him, or I say in Dinosaur, like King of the World, as we like, and then I like get off like nothing happened.
That's funny.
I think
Nick's chuckling at it. Nick probably makes some sort of like, this isn't Titanic. Hit me like one of your French girls, Matt. For generations, the town of Sandpoint stood as a beacon along the Verisian coast, a place of trade, of community, heroes, and resilience. But Sandpoint was no stranger to hardship. It's endured goblin raids, Chelish invasion. It survived threats rising from ancient Thassalon. It's faced devastation from flood and tsunami. Time and time again, Sandpoint endured. Until now. Because this time, Sandpoint did not survive. It did not fall. It was not destroyed. It was not conquered. It simply vanished, leaving behind nothing but strange basalt flats. Gone from the face of the earth, leaving questions, rumors, and a growing sense of unease across all of Verisia.
Once there was a whisper on the wind of a town where every road begins, where the pages turn and lanterns glow, and little stories start to grow. Up the river past the pines, where the old stone tower climbs, past the basalt by the sea, where a city used to be. Travelers with dusty boots, farmer scholars, wandering youth, every heart and every trail holds another tiny tale. Tiny tales gather round in the hush of the small town sound, from the heart to the open trail. Every voice becomes a tale. Tiny tales, day by day. Small brave souls will find their way. Close your eyes and you will see. Big adventures start small and free. Some are bold and some unsure. Some seek fortune, some seek cure. Some just pass and some remain under sun or autumn rain. Mysteries in forest deep, secrets rivers always keep. Turn the page and you may find magic born of humankind.
Hello, everybody. Welcome on in to the next installment of Tiny Tales. This is Tiny Tales, the Sandpoint decision finale, the end of the story. We are gathered here with the cast of the Sandpoint decision, and as I've said in the past episodes to catch you all up, these four people are very integral to this storyline and very important that they are the ones that start off Tiny Tales. Tiny Tales is set in the town that sits upon a little place called Biston's Pond, just southwest of Sandpoint. And Sandpoint is a very important location because the original United Galarian game, where all of the United Galarian games are from, originated with these people in the town of Sandpoint. In this very same world. So we wanted to start it off. I wanted to start it off with these people as the cast, introducing the outcome of what is the Sandpoint decision, what will become of Sandpoint and the surrounding areas, and they are the ones in charge of making that decision. So I want to again thank them for not volunteering, but voluntolding to be part of this story, although I'm sure that they are perfectly happy playing this campaign and this story. So I'm going to do a quick little recap for all of you, and you may notice that we do have the Tangia dungeons running. They'll be quiet. We do have Microscape there. You can redeem your free hours. Just being here should get you some stuff as well. Should get you time just chatting and whatnot. So just stay active in that. They got the Pokemon community game as well. So all of those things are sitting there. You can go ahead and work on those. With that being said, as I take my breath, I will catch us up on the Sandpoint decision part 3. I cut some stuff out because it was long again, and I didn't want it as long as it was last time, and it's still long. So if you find things that are missing and you really think that they should be highlighted, feel free afterwards to highlight those parts that you think are extra important. If you remember, of course. With that being said, previously on Tiny Tales, the Sandpoint decision, part 3. The investigation into the disappearance of Sandpoint continues as Corvus, Silverheart, Keshi Shadowrock, Lord Eckard Shaw, and Lady Iska Veldemar press deeper into the mysteries surrounding Sandpoint, Biston's Pond, and the future of the Lost Coast. The next part of the day, the party met once again with Caliphan and her son, only known as Junior, air quotes, after everything that they had learned up till now. They finally convinced the frightened mother that remaining in Biston's Pond offered her son the best chance at a safe future. Though still terrified of what his magical gift might bring to them and the town, she agreed to still meet with the headmaster of the School of Magic and consider allowing him to train there. The party then returned to the strange basalt flats where Sandpoint once stood, accompanied by local craftsmen and dwarven smiths Rak and Garar to further assess the land. It was there that they discovered members of the Scarnetti family, already reclaiming what they believed to be their ancestral holdings. Corvus immediately let them know that no noble family really held any legal claim until the Bank of Abadar completed its assessment, making it clear that that the very future of every acre rested with his final judgment. The encounter reinforced an important realization. As word spread, other noble families would most certainly return to reclaim their former lands, complicating whatever future awaited the region and, of course, the plans that Eckard and Iska may have had. While speaking with the craftsman, the party met an elderly wizard named Miles. Yes, the very man that Caliphan and Junior had spent so much time searching for. As they explained their story to him, and mentioning hoping to contact the legendary wizard Maractus, the surrounding townsfolk there reacted with confusion. Miles, the party realized, was indeed also Maractus. After hearing Corvus and the party explain their responsibility to determine the future of Sandpoint, Maractus chose to trust him and his associate. With a single handshake, the illusion faded to Corvus, revealing the Archwizard himself. They then left Eckard and Iska behind. Maractus took Corvus and Keshi somewhere no one else had ever seen or been in quite some time. Sandpoint still existed. The city had not been destroyed, but transported through divine or maybe planar intervention to an entirely different world, where its people continued to survive under the new leadership. Maractus explained that revealing this truth could endanger not only Sandpoint itself, but the world it now called home. Corvus accepted the burden of that secret and reached an important conclusion. Sandpoint no longer existed on Galarian. What remained behind was something entirely new. In his mind, the basalt flats have become Stonepoint, a place whose future still has yet to be decided. Maractus also shared another mystery. The ancient rune known as the Old Light may have never been intended simply as a weapon. Instead, it may have been built to guard something buried beneath the land itself. For generations, the people of Sandpoint may have unknowingly continued the duty of the Thessalonians, and whether Stonepoint must now take its place remains unknown. Before returning, though, Maractus arranged for Captain Caradoc, a famed sailor and defender of Sandpoint's coast, to return as well, providing Corvus with both an experienced advisor and another connected between the missing city, the lands left behind, and the shore and seas. Because of the strange passage of time between worlds, Corvus and Keshi returned before they seemingly left, rejoining later in the day Eckert and Iska at the Eagle End. They learned that Caliphan had accepted Eli's offer. Junior would remain at Biston's Pond to study magic, while his mother had been given both a home and an opportunity to open a bookstore and teach the local children how to read and write. As the party compared everything they had learned, Corvus asked Eckert and Iska to examine their government's official records concerning Sandpoint. What they found raised even more concerns. Magnimar's records revealed an unexplained gap that suggested its fleet had maybe been intentionally diverted away during the Chelish invasion, as well as when the tsunami had occurred. Korvosa's record showed something equally troubling. Despite claiming Sandpoint as one of its settlements, there had never been any formal agreement requiring Korvosa to defend it. The documents painted a picture that neither great city had truly supported Sandpoint as much as either had claimed. But Eckert also knows that he wasn't the best at reading such documentations, and that those documentations might be better suited to have others look it over. Finally, as the council meeting was about to begin, the party met one last council member, Whimsy, a cheerful pseudo-dragon representing the town's founders. Pseudo-dragons and house drakes as well. He introduced himself while casually admitting that he had spent the last 2 days quietly eavesdropping on much of the party's conversations and journeys on behalf of their friend Maractus. With the council assembled, Corvus prepared to present the Bank of Abadar's information, whatever he may have. And for the first time since arriving at Biston's Pond, the future of this town, the surrounding areas, and maybe even Sandpoint, are about to be discussed. Welcome to the next edition and the finale of the Sandpoint edition of Tiny Tales. Did I miss anything? And is there anything you guys want to point out that's not in the recap that is important?
I don't think you missed anything.
Yeah, I think that was pretty solid.
All right. With that being said, you guys are gathered in the Eagle Inn. The crew of the people that you have called forth to be part of the council, the city council's meeting, have all gathered. They all have some food. They're chatting a little bit. They're just kind of catching up on kind of day-to-day stuff within the town, especially for those of the council members that aren't here every single day, those that come every couple days, the representations of the farmers, Whimsy, who's always doing things as well, kind of catching up on all of those day-to-day things. Kind of almost like a mini meeting, but very nonchalant and very low-key. Just sharing of information between them. When you guys decide to join them. Once again, the council members, in case you need a reminder, from Arm's Length Lumber, you have Jord, who is the one-armed logger, older gentleman. He kind of helps with the loggers. He does a lot of the negotiations with the Fae. His family is pretty well tied. He's the one that purchased the agreement to the logging in the hinterlands from the Scarnettis. You have Eli, who is the representative of the school and currently resides within the tower. He is the headmaster, if you will. You have Halis Korvaski, who is in charge of Biston's boutique, which used to be called Sandpoint Boutique. She is the sister of Jasper Korvoski, who is or was the leader of the Sandpoint Mercantile Guild before Sandpoint disappeared. And that's out of Magnimar. And of course, you have Sir Jormond, aka Serial. He is in the Crusaders area. He is a retired adventurer and crusader. And you have the farmer Finn, who represents all of the outside farmers and traders that come to be in town. And finally, of course, Whimsy, who is the representative of the founders of Korvosa, who is a pseudo-dragon, and he also represents the pseudo-dragons and house drakes, of which you learned their time here, they're kind of cared for by the people, but because of the human element in the town and the way the pseudo-dragons are, they're also kind of like a little alarm system and a nighttime defense, and of course any smaller predators or problems that can happen, they're pretty formidable predators themselves. So they get kind of lodging and some food in trade for that, and they coincide with the people in the town. So that is all the council members. There is one missing council member, meaning missing as in they haven't formalized who the final person is. They wanted somebody that was a little bit more religious, a priest or whatnot, but the local priest didn't really want to partake in that. He had too much on his plate, and just didn't really want to be part of that. He didn't feel like he should be part of that. He felt that there were others that should have that position more than him. With that being said, I will let you guys take it away, whichever one of you wants to take the lead on starting the council meeting. I'm guessing Corvus, since you're the one that called for it.
Yeah. Corvus will walk in and formally greet everyone and introduce Lord Eckert Shaw and Iska, and say what city each of them represents. I believe it's what, Shaw, you're from
Korvosa.
Korvosa, and Iska, you're from Magnimar.
Yeah.
Thank them all for their time, and then let them all know before we'll come to a decision about Sandpoint. There is a much more pertinent decision for the city.
And out of character, were you planning on making a decision during this meeting or afterwards on your own?
I think it depends on what comes up during the meeting.
Okay. Sounds good.
So, and be like, but this fair city has gone through many trials and tribulations in its short existence. A decade ago, it was overgrown ruins plagued by goblins, and I believe Sandpoint itself had its own devil that would plague the plateau. And those have been driven out. The land has been made safe. Farms have prospered. Business has flourished. Commerce has infiltrated where it was once lost. And with that, the town has been recognized not only by Magnimar and Korvosa, inhabitants of Turtle Ferry, those of Riddleport, and even far off in Carmaga, but also from the church. And with that, if you six could please, and I'll motion to like a table where they can all look, and I'll go into my bags and I'll pull out the Milestown. That's the correct name, yes.
It's either Milestown or Mileston that you guys all voted on out of character.
And I pull out.
Depends if there's not if there's a W in the letter or not. You'd have to look.
I pull out the charter and set it down for them. Like, this is the culmination from the church for your hard work. Official recognizing everything that has done and everything that can be done in your fair city.
There's whispering amongst them quietly. A little bit of shock, a little bit of hope, a little bit of excitement.
I know that there have been great upheavals, great loss. Hard times make hard people. Hopefully this is a turning point, a renaming of the city, a blessing on its people, and a rebirth, a time to celebrate, to come together under one town, one name. And with all of the blessings that Abadar has blessed upon me, I'd like to give to you all. It was no small task that brought civilization to this wilderness, and you all deserve far more than a meal here. But it is a start. And I'll pull out like extra copies because I'm assuming
yeah, they need
have
their
multiple
thing.
copies of it to hand to each one, and I'll have the seventh one kind of like set to the side for whenever the seventh member is appointed.
I'm assuming you have an extra one to get because they'll all sign it.
Yeah, like I'm assuming it's kind of like a bigger one that they'll all sign that I'll bring back to the church, and they all have the small ones.
Yeah, they
all you have to do is to sign your name and to finalize the birth of this town.
They all agree. The farmer, Finn, is in the middle because they're like taking turns signing, and it gets to Finn, and Finn has the little quill, and he looks at it, and he looks at the others, and he looks up, and he goes, "What does this mean as far as how Biston's Pond will be treated?"
Well,
It is treated like any town. It is its own city. It has no ties to Magnimar or Korvosa.
That said, Eckert and I will be staying here and helping support the growth of whatever we called this new city.
Mileston or Milestown.
Mileston.
I'd have to look at the email to Matt.
Eh.
Both were options. Like there were 6 options, and I sent it out to a lot of people to vote, and I had some people vote in character in games, and then I accumulated all those votes, and I don't remember which one. It was one of those 2 won.
fine.
Yeah, I'm just looking through my email now.
I want to say it was Mileston.
I think it's Mileston and not town as well.
So it was like a nod, but a nod of a name more than it's named after him.
Yeah. So Iska just adds that we're intending to stay and support by pulling on the resources that we have from those two cities, even though Mileston won't have to rely on them. Like, they're not a city-state of one of those.
And then Sir Jormund, the retired soldier, crusader, the older guy, he goes, so much like we are now where we're establishing it ourselves, we are in charge, this town is in charge of the surrounding lands.
Correct.
And then he signs it. Like Finn signed it, and then he asked that, and then Sir Jormund signed it. Halis looks up and goes, as much as I have ties. And she nods to you, Iska, because she realizes your name, and so she knows who you are. And she's like, as much as we have ties to Magnimar, and she shrugs, and Korvosa, I guess. But it will be good to know that our stake in the lands around us is built off of our backs and not the backs of people uninterested in investing in the area. That we will be as much a city-state as Magnimar and Korvosa, and maybe one day be equals to them. Like, that's to a brighter future for this area. And then she signs. She doesn't say, she says Magnimar, Korvosa, and Riddleport, because that's the other big Verizian city.
Yep, it's the nearest big port city.
Yeah. Nobody else really has anything to say. That's not true. Whimsy always has something to say. He can't keep his mouth shut. Whimsy's like, he signs it first. He goes, and he's the last person to sign it. They give it to him last. He's like, on behalf of the founders, Shara, which Talon. Yes, I got it. I got them both. On behalf of Shara, Talon, Maractus, Cleo, and all the lives that they've touched, all of those that have worked with them, and the previous people no longer with us. I think this town represents the best of what all of us have to bring to the hinterlands, to Verizia, and to the greater world. And he goes on to the, like, you're like, what's he going to say next? What's he going to say next? What's he going to say next? And then you get to the end, and he's like, oh, he was just kind of like rolling with it. And he's like,
as bards do.
Yeah, and he's like, and with that being said, I will be the last signature to sign in Mileston into official registry of the world. And he signs it and hands it. And he like picks it up, rolls it up, you know, because he's only this big, rolls it up, takes a thing off, a candle off, and like pours it over the thing to seal it, and then brings it. There's no insignia or anything. And he brings it over to, actually, he prestidigitations, so it has the coat of arms in the wax.
Nice.
Because you can do that with a prestidigitation. And then hands it over to you. He's like, well, I'll have to get some signet rings for the town with the thing.
being in town for as much of his talking about signet rings, could I make like a knowledge local just to be like, oh, so and so could help you with that type deal, or just like the dwarves or
the dwarves could fashion the ring itself, but they're not jewelers.
Okay.
And there isn't. I don't believe there is a jeweler in town.
Okay.
They have Tower's treasures, but there's no actual treasures there. Arms Length Lunder, Eagle Ing, Besk's Place, Brutus's Meats. The Pathfinder Lodge might know somebody. Yeah, there's not a jeweler in the town.
I will look towards Iska, being from Magnimar, which is definitely closer than Korvosa. I'm like, perhaps Iska might know of a jeweler to help get some 7 rings made for the council members.
That is something that could easily be done. Yes.
They all nod. And Halis is like, well, hopefully within time we will get our own jeweler here. But we do have a coat of arms created for the town. And Eli goes, yes, and I can finally finish the sign for the school.
Indeed.
Because Eli, it's always said, blank, School of Wizard or School of Magic. Blank was supposed to be the name of the town.
Yeah. So now that the town is set, I ask you 6. How far do you want the reach of Milestone? Are you
May I
thinking... Yes, Lord Eckert.
There is something we wished to discuss with the newly formed council. We have not necessarily made it a secret that Lady Iska and I are here to some extent represent the interests of Magnimar and Korvosa. And admittedly, with the formation of your town and the current status of what used to be Sandpoint, well, there are many that would be interested in staking a claim, pressing the old claims and deeds of what they feel they are owed. That being said, we've looked at these claims, and while there are some loose connections here or there, what could be argued very much so as to the legitimacy of them trying to carve out their own little piece. That being said, we do know that those with more power and influence and the will to wield it can force a claim, if nothing else. Iska and I have talked about it at length these past few days, and we are prepared to offer a possible solution to help make sure that whatever influence our 2 respective cities that we represent try to pull, that ultimately they don't overstep and ultimately don't endanger this newly founded, newly minted and branded town of yours or the surrounding area, or threaten it, whether financially or, well, I don't militarily, but regardless, you could almost think of us as, I guess, diplomats of a sort in trying to negotiate terms with them and their respective things. And we can go into greater detail as needed, but we wanted to, I guess, go over some preliminary ideas we thought of and to see if it is something that you as the council of your newly minted town, I should say, if it is something you find agreeable.
They look over to Iska, because obviously one side had their spoken their moment, so.
Lord Shaw has spoken well for both of us. I don't know that I have anything to add. I think he has covered our intentions, and if you choose to trust us, we intend to keep the promises that we make. I mean, we'll keep the promises we make even if you don't trust us, to be fair, but.
And what are some of these ideas that you two are willing to bring to help Mileston and its surrounds?
Well,
Oh, sorry.
nope. One of my thoughts is to use some of the resources that I have to rebuild a port of sorts where Sandpoint was, with the intention of it being a stop on making sure that Mileston can still get or have easy access to sea trade and all of the benefits that come with that.
Yes, we don't want them to strangle. We want to make sure that the path of trade and the river, we understand its importance towards the trade with your town, and want to make sure that we keep that open, that we are able to control it. Well, that you are all able to control it, and that they do not take advantage of it to create a stranglehold.
Correct.
Corvus, make a perception check.
A 7.
Oh, my Lanta. Kashi, you can also make a perception check. You were there.
Okay. I'm really good at that.
I hope so.
Me too.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm better than I thought I was. Oopies. 17.
Kashi, you were there. So you do, in the background, at a table, silhouetted, you actually see Captain Caradoc, who came with you from Sandpoint, from Sandpoint. And you do remember that there's some sort of official paperwork where he's in charge of the docks and the shipping lanes of Sandpoint, written by the previous owner of the shipping lanes and the dockmaster, Shara. You don't really understand all of that, but you remember that happened, and you actually see him in the room, and he's listening, and nobody realizes he's even in the room.
I guess the bigger question, though, is, are the contracts and obligations that were originated in Sandpoint still active?
I think that depends entirely on this council.
Depends entirely on Corvus.
And
Corvus,
Corvus,
I'll
yes.
let you roll a sense motive, Corvus, on Keshi. You get a bonus because you know Keshi, and she's speaking in a place that she usually doesn't say anything unless it's really important.
Mm-hmm. An additional +2 over what I have, or
Yeah. You essentially aid another.
ooh, much better roll, a 23.
Always.
You get what she's saying
Mm-hmm.
when they're talking about the billing lanes. You recall the paper, like you don't see him there, but you know that you have that paperwork of who's in charge, and you know he's here somewhere, and that he's there to be to aid, and to be a representative that the people of Sandpoint know.
Mm-hmm.
And you do have the paperwork that he's the official person in charge of that.
He's the official for Sandpoint's docs.
Correct.
I reach into my bag, and I have some holy texts. Knowing that I'm coming to a town that's building, could my holy text be the manual of city building? It's an Avatarian holy text that all talks about how to make cities and help them prosper and grow and future planning.
Yeah. Makes sense. You would have grabbed one.
I pull out my manual of city building. And I'm like, 5 years ago, how big was this city?
Whimsy says the original adventuring party.
So just the tower.
The tower and the adventurers.
3 years ago, how big was it?
Just a small handful.
Last year?
He tells you the amount.
Yeah.
The Crusaders were kind of added. The Crusaders, not the Crusaders that were here, but the Crusaders from the World Wound have added, and then some other civilians.
Mm-hmm. So the city has grown. Right now, how many of the domiciles are filled?
About 85 to 90% of them.
And I'm assuming there's a big mixture, men and women from various aspects of the Crusades, survivors from Sandpoint. I'm assuming there's a lot more cohabitation, probably in the next 3 to 15 months. We'll see a boom in children. Hence why I've heard they're looking for someone to teach children how to read and use letters.
Yes.
Plus people that come in for the school, people that come in for trade. Your city is going to be growing much faster than it has in the last 5 years. I ask you how big you think the city will grow. It is a mile from here to the point that Sandpoint once stood. In Magnimar, you can walk twice that distance. In Korvosa, 5 times that distance, and still be within the city walls. How big are you looking to become? When you say you want to protect the surrounds of Milestone, do your surrounds go past the platter? Do they go to the ocean? Do they go to the far forests? Do they encompass all the way down to the very end of the farmlands? And I just kind of...
They all look at each other because they hadn't even thought of how big it might grow. And the comparison of size, right? Because it's a day's travel.
Yep. It's a day's travel because there's not a direct road and not a paved road.
There's a direct road. It's not a paved road.
Paved road has that time, so
It
now they're
does.
looking at
It sure does.
hours.
It sure does.
Well, a windy
As
road anyway.
the river erodes, or as travel barges move up and down the river, I'm assuming even a keelboat could fit right now.
Right now,
Travel will become faster.
the Hala says right now, small sailed ships make it up and down the river.
So getting from point A to point B will become easier as Mileston grows. So what you must decide is how far you want to claim your probably burgeoning city-state. Much like Korvosa has its surrounds, and Magnimar has its surrounds, Kermaga, Turtle Ferry, Riddleport. You will soon outgrow the stone's throw from this lodge. Right now, everything around here is open. It will not be for long. This book will help. The manual here is what Aradin used when he made his city-state of Absalom. Every few years, the Abedaran Church revises this text. This is the latest copy. It helps with infrastructure, trade, defenses, utilities, and expansion. Everything to deal with urban planning. This can help, but it cannot help take over lands that you do not claim soon. Then it is a book on war. That is a manual outside of Abedar's reach. If you want a port city or a port, now is the time to say so. Sandpoint is gone. It was destroyed in a cosmic event. There is no Sandpoint. Where there was once sand, there is now stone. Where there was once salt water, there is now fresh. It is different. It can become a fortified trading hub. It could become a city. It could maintain part of nature that is being protected by the rangers and wardens of this land. However, from those that I have spoken to, Rak and Garar, to Jord, to Halus, all of you have talked about the loss of a port hindering the town. So my question for you, for the betterment of Mileston, is Stonepoint yours? Or does it belong to the Scarnetti family?
That's a very important piece, because all of them knee-jerk reaction when you say Scarnetti. Because everyone here was affected by them.
Mm-hmm.
Until Shara took over.
They have started laying claim to the stone. It's never been the stone that's been in their family. It is the stone sitting upon the ground where their house once stood, and their house is no longer. We need to figure out by tomorrow how far Mileston's arm reaches. And that is why we are here. You have two allies in Lord Shaw and Lady Iska. They have plans, they have money. I'm assuming with their money they will want to buy into the town. Perhaps as a noble. Perhaps as the town gets bigger, more council seats will need to be made.
All of the council members nod at that. Clearly, they've no sense motive needed. They've already discussed what would happen if the town were to grow bigger. They just never thought about the distance size, only the population size.
I would be lying if I said that my or even Lady Iska's interests were purely out of generosity. Obviously, we do have a vested interest, but I feel that our interest is also tempered by wanting to see this town grow and not be controlled by those forces outside of the city.
Whimsy, who is, funny enough, the second most educated person in the room. Not in the room, and on the council. The second most educated person on the council. He glances down at your book and says, "Isn't there something in that book about what happens when one town grows to a size where it touches another and just absorbs the smaller of the two?"
Sometimes they absorb, sometimes they war. It depends. If, I'll be honest, the Scarnettis are running Stonepoint, do you think they will let it be absorbed? Or will they fight tooth and nail?
Eli says, "They will do whatever is most profitable and what will garner them the most power."
So a council seat or two.
Yes.
Running the docks. Pulling their fees before taxes. Probably some after.
Eli nods. Eli says, "I always imagined that this town would grow south of the Devil's Platter, towards the farmlands," and he nods over at Finn, towards some of the wildlands that the Fae don't run. He nods at the logger, at Jord. "I never thought about it moving north. I even saw it moving northwest towards the Abbey. And potentially making a shipping lane from the seaside there. I don't think any of us ever thought about moving and growing up and around the Devil's Platter to Sandpoint itself. However, we felt that as the protectors of the area, much like a city-state is in charge over the other local smaller towns, much like the smaller towns answer to Korvosa nearby, answer to Magnimar nearby, that if a Sandpoint were to reemerge and remain smaller than us, and if we could stand on our feet, which obviously and clearly we will, that lands would still be beholden to us whether a town is there or not. He goes, was my assumption. And that's what I know typically happens as far as city-states within Varizia. It's like, but that's just my opinion, and that's just my education on how the area is. It would be, instead of Sandpoint answering to Korvosa or Magnimar, and he points to Eckert and Iska, they would answer to now Mileston. But I guess you are right in thinking if we grow towards Sandpoint, that could and would be an important decision.
It is a lot to think about, and I do understand the moving south makes the most logical sense. However, all of the farmlands that were south all paid homage to Sandpoint. It's where they went to sell their grain. So they went to sell and buy almost everything that came through. The river is much easier than the Lost Coast Road. All of the farmers that come through still make sense for them to take the Lost Coast Road up to Sandpoint than to sell here in Biston's Pond and ship by river or road.
They all look to Finn, and Finn nods that the vast majority, not all, but the vast majority of the farmers would rather go to the shipping lanes in the Sandpoint area instead because of the distance. Finn goes, right now as it stands, most of them came here out of necessity. However, right now, it's still quicker to come here because there's not a significant road to Sandpoint anymore. And we do have trade ties here. But I think that in time, they would end up going back to Sandpoint. At least 75% of them.
At least the ones that are on that left side of the Sandpoint hinterlands map.
Yeah. Sir Jormund speaks up and says, well, I would like to interject that a lot of the farmers have loyal ties. And there is a good chance they would go out of their way to support the town that protects them. And Finn kind of nods and goes, that's true.
How does Biston or how does Mileston handle taxes on things that are going out? And you can just give me like a blah number. I'm assuming they're collecting taxes.
Chat has redeemed a dice reroll.
Ooh.
All right, GM gets a dice reroll. Thank you for that, Sunstrider. There is a proposal for taxes for when they become a town officially. They aren't officially a town, so there is no need for taxes because they haven't been able to ratify where the money's going. Are we going to be beholden to someone else, or will we be allowed to be our own people? Is a town going to come in and just claim us? So they do have plans. In fact, they show you the write-out of what the different taxes are and what the proposals are. And they even have a plan, like a little mini area of a proposed rate of growth. Eli hands that over, being the educated mathematician of the group. He hands that over. It's like, this is our proposed, if what you are delivering us ever came to be, now, of course, is, I suppose, the best time to have an Abadarian look it over and make sure it makes sense. Since this goes into effect as of 10 minutes ago.
Yes.
We can, of course, ratify it before the end of the day today.
So taxes will be gathered, which is good. My thought is taxes gathered here in Biston's Pond, understandable. Anything that goes out of Sandpoint
If you're waiting for a hot train and you've got some bits to spare, drop a sub or an alert and it will surely get you there. The spicy chips are gonna fly when we get that train up high. It's a spice train. Watch out, 'cause it's a spice train. We're the best just a spice. Hey, don't mess around. 'Cause it's a spice train.
Well, with that being said, we have a spice train, which every level of completed hype train. We spin the spice wheel, and I do spicy stuff during this game. I will put it small on the thing. We might have to take a little pause while we do this. So hold your thoughts, Matt.
I will.
It gives everybody a chance to also think about what they have to say coming up. As I spin, and I get Sriracha. You gotta have snacks. To have all the snacks, because tasty, yeah. Gotta have the snacky snacks, yeah. Thank you for the snacky snacks. Thank you for the 5 bomb and triggering that hype train. Rockheim, a.k.a. Eckert, a.k.a. Brian, a.k.a. my friend. Let's see what kind of, which one is the Sriracha? Oh, no, it's one of the red ones. Okay, I have a note here. The bright red one is the Carolina Reaper. This one is going to be the Cayenne, which means this one is the Sriracha.
Did you get it right?
I got it right.
Good.
Still not fun.
But you're not in tears.
Yeah, it's better to get the one when you get the lowest one on the wheel, and you end up eating the hottest one on the wheel. And you're not expecting it.
Yeah.
So there we go. Thank you for the beginning of the spice train. We will spin the wheel again if we get that last, what is that, 17%, 18%? Hello, Susanna. Of course, hello, everybody that came in. Toasty Toesies. Oh, Susanna. Osu, who is in here as well.
Not to worry.
Hello, Jero. Welcome.
Permit. This just says I can do what I want.
Holy crap. I don't even know what balls I have. That didn't.
That's Corvus.
Right. Corvus. This is not even a permit. It says I can do what I want. That's true. Although yours is official. Woo! Welcome on in on the little break that is the hype train. So feel free to continue. We might get more alerts as people want to make that hype train try and hit start a level 3. But we are at like 80% now. Turn it up, yeah. Turn it up, yeah. Turn it up, yeah. Turn it up. And thank you for the celebration. The OMG celebration, which rains down on the screen. Oh, so close.
Yes.
Burninating the countryside, burninating the
peasants.
Rockheim introduced me to that. Introduced me to Trogdor for the first time.
Trogdor. Oh, Trogdor.
The lyric. Ooh.
So I got that going on.
Which is nice. 95. We're at 95%, guys. Boom, Jiro. Thatch Roof Cottages. Welcome on in, Jiro. Thank you for the follow, and thank you for the tier 1 sub as we complete so level 2.
Shows up and swings at you, and it scrapes across your armor as you cast your spell.
Go, mithril breastplate, bitch.
I'm gonna make that a T-shirt. Who wants a mithril breastplate, bitch T-shirt?
Oh yeah.
What do we get? Flaming hot Cheetos! I should say stale flaming Cheetos at this point. These things are like little rocks at this point. They're so gross. They're at the point now where they're more gross than they are hot, which just makes the hot even worse. All right, and I do a whole handful of these stupid little bastards. Oh.
Just gotta eat more of them.
Oh.
I think Osu is right. You should maybe solve the flaming hot Cheetos staleness problem by getting something else.
I keep forgetting. Every time we go grocery shopping, I forget it's on my list.
Hey, Holly.
Add it to the list. Oh no! Thank you. Or 5 more and the spicy. Is that gonna make me spin the wheel again?
Yep.
Level 3
Yes,
complete.
it
It is. All right, here
Which
we go.
is why I did it.
Here we go. Oh. No, 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 no. Oh, thank God. That was almost a Carolina Reaper. God, guys, thank you. Ugh. All right, more flaming Cheetos, and then we spin the wheel again.
Yep.
Yep.
Oh.
One of the problems is that there aren't a lot of good options at the grocery store anymore.
That's fair.
True.
Yeah.
Like, Packy's not a thing.
Which is a bummer.
And most everything else isn't spicy or apparently tastes like ass, but I don't eat them, so I don't know.
I am. That is the two up from the last one in heat. There it is. The death piece. Tiny Tulip, welcome on in. We're on the hype train and we're doing spicy stuff for every completed. Son of a bitch! I mean, thank you. I don't know whether to complain or be super thankful. All right, we're gonna do that one.
7 needed to maintain their lead. We were.
That's true.
We're trying to catch up.
Well, I forgot that one's kind of got an interesting flavor. Oh, hot. Oh, hot. All right. Oh, God. I can't even swallow it. It's so hot.
So I got that.
From all the heat, the other stuff too. Oh.
They just build.
Oh. Oh.
Your lips are a bright shade of pink.
Mm-hmm. Oh, all right. We spin again. Can we just hit level 6?
Yep.
Thank you, Seven-Tailed Fox.
What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean?
You know what's going to really suck? Is I think after this I'm going to be out of flaming Cheetos and I'm going to have to respin. Oh.
Just another reason to try and find something that's not stale.
Yep.
I almost feel like we should start getting you like the chicken nuggets and then buying the different hot sauces. And then you can just like and then take the
Oh. But that would require chicken nuggets just to sit here all day long.
Well, no, you
that's a good
cook
point.
them up. Yeah, I mean, well, yeah, okay. I mean, cook them up before the. I don't know. I got nothing.
You look like you're kind of in pain.
Yeah, a little bit. A little bit. I got some gluten-free beer here. Hello, Sean. Welcome in. Sorry I didn't say hi to you earlier. We're deep in the thing. But now Now we're
Bentley is amazing.
on a little hype
Bentley,
train
you're
break.
awesome.
Spice train.
Bentley, you're amazing. I didn't mean to say Octavia. Sorry.
Oh no!
Chicken nugget dreamland, whoa. It's a chicken nugget fantasy. Chicken nugget dreamland, whoa. If you're into nuggets, it's where you wanna be. Chicken nugget dreamland, whoa. Infinite flavors of infinite sauce. Chicken nugget
This could be a little bit, guys.
I had to get up to 7 to make you have another. Because you said you're out of Cheetos.
Yeah,
so-
it has to be bean now. I have to re-roll.
so delicious and conveniently shaped. Full of nutrition, a rainbow in nugget form. Chicken nugget technology shows us the future of dining. They got no sharp edges and no utensils are Don't stop loving on the nuggets, so good that you wanna hug it. Don't stop loving on the nuggets, and living the dream. Don't stop.
What even is this song?
It's the Chicken Nugget Dreamland song.
This is way too long.
I mean, it's expensive. It's not cheap to play. It is not cheap to play.
Can get a million piece box.
Thank you. Holy schnecky burgers. All right, we're going to do...
Returns of 007 asked me, should Nick, a.k.a. at Epic_Realms, be tortured by the people he's playing with, and would you say yes? In the wild, we often observe peculiar rituals, and watching these creatures collectively descend upon them with such relentless enthusiasm is truly fascinating. It is a ruthless display of social dominance, yet strangely compelling. If the pack demands this delightful brand of suffering, then who am I to protest? Yes, let the torment continue until the very last bit of spirit is drained away.
Thank you, Sean, and our good friend, David Attenborough, for that. And also, thank you to Anonymous Gifter and Zine for the extra finalizing of this getting level 7. And now we're 63% into level 7. And yeah, the Chicken Nugget Dreamland is not cheap. Like, that put a big dent in the next level of the wheel. So yeah, I'm trying to save.
Now you gotta roll twice. Should have done it sooner.
Yep.
2 beans.
All right.
See what you can do with that bean in your mouth.
I'm trying to find how I'm supposed to have this thing, and I'm supposed to be able to share it on a thing, and it's not doing the thing, so I'm just going to bring it up and do it as is, and we'll just re-roll. I deleted all the things, but I don't have the thing. Oh my god. Nope, not Flaming Cheetos. Because we don't have any.
Oh no.
Oh. No, Flaming Cheetos are not Reapers. It keeps wanting to do the Flaming Cheetos.
If it rolls Flaming Cheetos one more time, just do the closest bean that's like right above the Flaming Cheetos. That's
Yeah, whatever beans to the left.
All right, we got a cayenne, which is what I did last time. might be able to handle that. Son of a bitch.
Choo choo.
Waiting for that existential crisis to kick in.
I think I got it. The high.
I mean, he looks close.
Yeah. Got that next roll though. Oh, there it is.
There it is. We got it. I think. Kind of. Oh. Oh. All right. It's not working. Oh my god, hot. All right. We'll go like this. We'll go like this. We'll shrink it back up so it's in the middle.
Come up to the
Oh
lab
gosh.
and see what's on the slab. I see you shiver with anticipation. But maybe the rain.
It's stuck in my teeth. It's stuck in my teeth.
So I'll remove the cause.
Okay.
But not the symptom.
Okay.
Turn it up.
Here we go.
Turn it up. Yeah.
What are we gonna get?
Turn it up. Yeah. Turn it up. Yeah.
Fuck. Yeah. At least I can now find this one. I've had them enough. I'm doing my part. Thank you. This is the this particular one is the from the Lyric Lost bunch that got us to 8. All right.
Should make sure your toilet paper is put in the freezer for you tomorrow.
Oh.
Oh, just in time to roll it again.
What's on the slab? I see you shiver with anticipation.
Sorry, not sorry.
But maybe the rain.
Oh.
Really to blame. So I'll remove the cause.
Oh, hi there, everyone.
The symptom.
See, this is the exact reason I had the Flaming Cheetos added in there. Didn't save me this time. You're right. The chat has another plan.
That definitely has a different plan.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'll give you a second to step aside here. I gotta mute my.
Don't die.
Who knew the TPK was going to happen on the Tiny
Yep,
Tales
you all
Adventure?
fucking die. I mean, I die. Oh my gosh, it's under my tongue.
Oh no.
Your face is like lobster red. Oh my goodness.
My nose started running like it was. That's why I stepped aside.
Do you have ice cream? You should go get ice cream.
Oh, there's my tears right there. Can you see my tears?
Yeah.
Oh. Yes, it should be a TTRPG, but Hype Train changes the plans. We came here to kick ass and chew spicy beans, and I'm all out of flaming Cheetos. Woo! Yep, I need ice cream. Hey, Holly, would you help me out?
There. Do you need toppings?
Sure. Oh, we'll see if we. Oh, do I have to do one more still? I do have to still. I hit level 9. My ears are burning.
You still have to do one more.
All right, here we
I
go.
feel like you should wait until the ice cream, though. Like, maybe give your mouth a break.
Oh, it's missing a thing. It's missing a list. I have to redo the list.
It's missing your super hot one.
I have to redo the thing.
Yeah, your Reaper fell off.
Yeah. Oh. Oh, do I just like this and then like that? There we go. All right. Here we go again. Oh, it's so cold in your house. It's you're right. It's nice for everyone to warm me up now that we have the AC back on. All right. The next one, as I wipe my tears from my face, and it's another Cayenne. On the bright side, I'm taking steps down, right?
Jero.
Knowing how badly poop time it is going to be later was worth my subscription. I still haven't gotten any other entertainment value yet. Best value on Twitch. Thank you.
That could go on the back of a shirt.
Yeah. Epic Realms reviews.
Yep.
Out of context, it's even funnier.
Yep.
All right. You know, after you had all that, and you go back down to the Carolina Reaper, you're from the Carolina Reaper down to a Cayenne, it's not so bad. And I had that in my mouth way longer than 10. All right, let me. You guys have 19 seconds to try and get to level 10 to make me roll again. Oh. On the bright side, oh my god. On the bright side, the beans aren't as bad as the chips. The chips linger way longer. Toasty says that's what the poop song is for. Toasty, do not encourage anyone to play the poop song. That is not what people need right now. People do not need the poop song. Oh. Guys, congratulations on your hype train. Level fucking 9 you got to. It's been a couple of years since we've done that, so thank you guys so much. As much pain as I'm in, I'm still super, super thankful for all of you pitching in. I mean, it helps me continue to do this for you guys and do all of the different content that I do. So thank you so much. Feel free to go and share that super high. I got some bird that's got the loading emote on it. Oh, my mouth. All right, I'm going to try and have a little ice cream, Matt, and let you continue. I don't even remember where we were at. We were talking about Sandpoint and them and the growth and which way they're going to grow and the farmers and their lands.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you will, look right here.
Hey, you're finally awake.
See, now it's all done. It's all good. You're nothing to worry about.
We're going to go here as we can see the overall map of the Sandpoint hinterlands, so people know what we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sandpoint's like 6 miles away from Biston's Pond. So yeah.
So the question is, knowing where the farms are, knowing that they have to come up to either Biston's Pond, take the road or river up, or go to the Lost Coast Road and go up to what was once Sandpoint. Do you want to sponsor a new city where Sandpoint was, or build somewhere else? Could build along the road where the Ashen Moor is, where the bridge crossing the road. Build something closer to Mileston. There is a cove there. It is probably easier to build on those lands than it is through the basalt. I mean, the choices are now yours. I think the best point for the city that was once Sandpoint is either, in my opinion, you have three choices. Build it up as a small trading post, something that can be protected. Build it up as its own large city, or let nature reclaim it. A cosmic event brought it. It is a source of fresh water in the ocean. It is fresh water that is not diluting with the salt water. It's its own druidic grove in the making. A place to be protected and revered. There are many things that can be done, but those in this room have the power to decide that. Keshi, you are my most trusted friend. We have traveled for years. You have a connection to nature like none that I have met. Do you know if the council here decided to protect and nurture this new land that is in their midst? Do you know of those that could protect it?
The Fae, this was all once their land, wasn't it? I'm sure they would gladly take it back.
Only some of it. Only certain areas were the Faes. Otherwise, it was just wild nature. Their spot in the Mosswood is where the Fae are. That's knowledge you know, Keshi.
Yes, but last game it had been said that they would take over that area.
It is likely
If
because of
given
the
the
magic. Yeah.
If they do not, someone needs unless you don't want to have control over who lives there, someone will try to take over a Stonepoint. Strategically, it's just too good of a location, and human nature seems to abhor a vacuum. They can't just let nature be.
Would it be as good of a location if there was a new port town built north of the Ashen Moor, where there already is clearing out areas near the farms and the bridge to cross the river? Would there be a need? And with that, I kind of look at Shah and Iska, knowing what you do of mercantile. From what I know of the history, Sandpoint was there because there was the lighthouse. The lighthouse has been broken and destroyed. The ground, the basalt, will be much harder to build on compared to the grasslands near the bridge. And it is directly on the road. If a port was set up there in that cove.
Osu!
Would it?
Welcome on in,
make
Raiders.
sense?
Critical raid. Our party rolled a nat 20 and finding your stream. Let's fill chat with positivity and epic vibes.
That's a cool little raid.
Osu has his daily redeem is a daily initiative.
Oh.
And it rolls a die 20 when you check in on your day. Guys, go
That's-
check out Osu. Osu, as of yesterday, officially part of the Be Kinder stream team. Welcome on in, Osu. Part of the Be Kinder stream team. Brand new, the newest edition. Was doing stuff with Juicy Fruit and Shiny Eevee and all of them earlier today and yesterday. So I didn't expect you to come here. I expected you to go over there. So thank you for coming in. I appreciate you. Welcome on in, Raiders. We're doing the tabletop RPG Tiny Tales. It's a series of small stories that we do some role playing on, and this is kind of the finale of this particular story. But it's all going to be set here. The next time we do Tiny Tales will likely be a whole new crew of characters and players.
Yep.
Of which you can apply in our Discord to be part of that. Provided we get to know you. Thank you, Crazy, for the follow.
So
what was the question again before we got rated?
Yep. So if the thought is to keep Stonepoint, nature, undisturbed, and as Keshia said, human nature wants to take places that are ideal. If another port was built above the Ashen Moor,
Can you ping
where
or
there already
draw
is
where-
bridge,
Okay. Here.
and a port could be built all along the entrance into the river and in that little cove, would it make Sandpoint less or Stonepoint less desirable?
I don't know, because the river goes from Sandpoint all the way to Milestone.
Yes.
Whereas the one on the cove on the Ashen Moor
does not.
does not.
That is true.
And wasn't part of Milestone's growth and prosperity due to the location of the port at Sandpoint? If you were to move the port, would you then be hindering this town's growth?
It's a good question.
I don't know how much hindering the growth is versus protecting the cosmic wonder that has entered the land.
George speaks up and goes, I would be against having a port anywhere else. Now, does it have to be exactly where Sandpoint is? Could it be a little bit in the other direction? Certainly, as long as it touches the river where the logs I ship up can be shipped out. But we use the river to send the logs to Sandpoint. A lot of the farmers also use boats to travel upriver to Sandpoint and then travel physically on the road back. If there was a shipping lane there. If there was a shipping lane near the Ashen Moor, I know for a fact that our situation would not improve. And our relationship with the local Fae would also not improve.
How would, right now, anything you're bringing outside must go to the Lost Coast Road? I mean, you said when we were speaking 2 days ago, shipments that you do send outside right now have to travel by the road.
I think that's because there's no port. There's no place
Correct.
to have ships. Yeah.
A lot of it does go to the Lost Coast Road. Some of it goes north as well. We have the road that goes between the Mosswood and the Nettlewood.
Mm-hmm.
Goes to the civilizations up there as well.
I am just trying to figure out ways that maybe both nature and commerce can coexist.
Well, keeping the contracts with the Fae, I think, is a very important way to preserve both. This is one of the only towns that I've seen coexist with nature. And from what we've heard, they are not fulfilling their bargain because they can't get the revenue and ship out as much lumber as they should be.
Yes. Again, the question goes to you 6. Jord, you would like Sandpoint to be a hub, which makes sense for the river and floating lumber down. However, your lumber mill is now here. You are not floating cut lumber down the river. And you're pulling the wood from the mosswood, correct?
Yes.
So what are you floating down towards Sandpoint?
The wood from the mosswood.
Yes, but you're cutting it here, correct? You have the lumber mill here.
We do have the lumber mill here, but we also ship the non-cut lumber down the road or down the waterways to sell. The lumber mill here was our answer to stay afloat. And it's doing okay, but nowhere near as well as being able to ship it out. And we also use wagons to haul the cut lumber to Sandpoint as well. At least that was the plan.
I did not assume you were shipping uncut lumber.
Yes, we were shipping uncut lumber to Sandpoint. And then the plan was eventually to put the mill there, but Sandpoint went away, so we built the mill here.
Mm-hmm.
We're quite versatile in our options from here. We just have less places to send it.
Mm-hmm.
We would make a lot more money if we could just ship the logs up and sell the logs directly.
And how about you, Finn? For shipping out your goods? Knowing if Sandpoint is there as a trading hub, would you farmers still visit Biston's Pond, or would they gravitate once again towards Sandpoint? The final destination where the goods will be put on boats.
He goes, I think the majority of the farmers would probably many would likely continue with Biston's Pond because of how they've been treated and how they've been protected by Biston's Pond. And all of the farmers are doing just as good now, if not better, than the time between the Chelish invasion and the fall of Sandpoint. It's been a few years. All of the farmers are still self-sufficient. Many of them have better lives now. Many of them have a road that rivals the Lost Coast Road going across the southern area of the Ashen Rise up to the Devil's Platter and to here. What was once trails is now an actual full road. The farmers have a direct road northwest as well because of Biston's Pond trade that direction. Whereas they would have had to have gone up to Sandpoint and then over on that northern road. If Sandpoint comes back, I think it's only an improvement because then they can choose either or, whichever suits them better. I don't think the farmers are hindered by either decision.
And Halus. And then I look at Eli and Whimsy. I'm like, I don't see how the wizard school would be hurt by either option.
Eli
Same
nods.
for the dragons.
Whimsy goes.
Assuming flight there is quick either way.
Whimsy says, in fact, the loss of Sandpoint has hindered the pseudo-dragons. That was a major flight route on their migration coast and a major stopping point, to the point where Sandpoint itself held a festival for them every year. Many of them have been lost to sea and exhaustion trying to find a place to rest on their migration chart, this being the wild pseudo-dragons, many of which have stopped here or been saved and brought here, and now reside here. The loss of Sandpoint's location and a resting point where they're celebrated has drastically affected the local migration of wild pseudo-dragons.
That is good to know. And Halus, how the commerce, you speak for those that set up shop, whether it be in a building or in a tent. I know Sandpoint being there had to have been able to bring in more goods. How has trade been via the roads?
It was called the Sandpoint Mercantile League for a reason. Sandpoint is a major shipping lane. It's a major trade route. All trade is important when you have a major shipping lane at your disposal, whether you're here or whether you were in Sandpoint. I'm always going to be for the return of my town. Whether my family decides to go there or not, I don't know, but I am sure that there are family members in Magnimar, including my brother's children, who would love to return to their homes and claim their lands if the town ever returns.
I will be honest with you and everyone here. Sandpoint will never return. Even if you rebuild everything, you're able to crush the basalt down to gray sand. The Sandpoint you all knew and loved is gone forever. You can make new memories, but comparing it to the home that they lost is an injustice to them, for it is lost and they will never gain that home back.
I don't think they're trying to gain the home back. I think they're trying to rebuild on a spot that logistically makes sense.
And that
They
I
know what's
understand.
gone.
I don't want letters to go, hey, you can come back home, for people to come back and find stone where families once were raised. It is not, it will never again be Sandpoint. For Sandpoint is the loss to the cosmos. Right now,
They all nod. All the council members nod, like they understand. Many of them have seen it or heard.
It is inhospitable right now. You cannot build on it as it is. It is probably years of work or a great expenditure of magic to make it livable. So no matter what the choice is, it'll be, well, years or look towards Eli, mini school activities to make it a bustling town. Due to the nature of the stone, its density and strength. So yes, Mileston needs a port. It is just figuring out if it needs a new port or an older, established one. But Lord Shaw, Lady Iska, you both talk about bringing money, bringing support, supplies. What is your plan if you are given reign to do so? What support can you give Mileston and those that require shipping out of here?
Money, boats, resources to build a port, no matter where they decide. But to
And,
be clear, the decision is up to the council. We're going to support what they decide.
In addition to those things, I feel it was more offering a guiding hand, especially to help deflect the worst advances of our representative cities if they smell the blood in the water, which I feel they did, sending us here in the first place.
Correct. Also that. A sort of protective buffer, I guess.
We won't be able to necessarily stop their interests, but we can definitely blunt and negotiate so as not to take over what you've accomplished here. We recognize the importance of what has happened this day.
Absolutely.
And we want to make sure it has a chance to grow.
I do want to sense motive, my friends, because while they are associates, they are still representatives.
Oh yeah, you're their associates, but you know they're about the business, and they're you know for a fact they're sent here to sway your opinion.
Yep.
It's just that now you'd originally think that they were sent here to sway your opinion in favor of the towns.
Mm-hmm.
But now it sounds like it might be in favor of them, which could also still just be in favor of the towns. Yep. So yeah, go ahead and roll that.
I did. I got a 7.
It could be either. It could be anything.
I mean, again, just want to iterate. It's not that we are doing this completely out of generosity. Our hope is to invest in the town so that we may also profit.
Correct.
We are not. I don't mean to deceive you in thinking we're as altruistic as all of that, but we do see the benefits of the city being, majoritively speaking, independent of either Magnimar, Korvosa, Riddleport, or any of the other Kermaga, or any of the other larger governmental organizations in Varizia.
Yes. It honestly serves our interests better to support Mileston. And incidentally, I think in doing so, we will be able to convince Korvosa and Magnimar, respectively, that they are getting a good deal out of all of this, even though we will be working to make sure that Mileston is retaining independence.
out of character, have there been any untruths, even subtle untruths, that have been told today out of character at this meeting?
Not for Corvus.
Not for Iska either.
I don't think for Eckert either. I mean,
not intentionally anyway.
Correct.
Not intentional, other than maybe, I guess, lies of omission, but not even so much in like we're trying to conceal something as more
Right.
of lies.
But nothing
of,
you've said has been a lie.
No. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm sure he's got a little feel of a greasy politician to him, but overall,
because he is.
Can't get away with all of that, but
Sure.
So, and it's because of like the subject of the two of you and your investment and what is your role and what is your true meaning behind it. And that's obviously part of this discussion that's happening. Corvus, like, what is your plan? What do you want to do? And the council is looking very closely. And after you both are done speaking, the entire council turns their heads to the little pseudo-dragon. And they're all like, so what did you get? And Whimsy looks at you all and looks at them. He goes, nobody's lied yet. And they all go, and they all nod. And he looks, Eckert, you can make a sense motive being a spellcaster.
All right. Not bad.
Not bad. He's got a lot of arcane scrolls sitting in his belt loop. He's got a bag. And so that he casts magic, and with, musical instruments and stuff, he is likely a bard.
Sure.
And when they all do that, you kind of sense motive. And between your sense motive and your arcane knowledge, you go, oh, he must have cast Detect Lies before this meeting began. And that must be a standard thing that they do for every council meeting, is to have him cast Detect Lies to see if anybody is feeding bullshit.
Okay.
But they don't say anything. But the people, like, this is the first time that anything that's been said that they're like, we need to know.
Sure.
And Whimsy goes, nobody has told a lie yet tonight. You're the only one that gets at you other three. That's weird, but maybe he's just really good at telling if people lie. I'll let you make your own decisions on what you think.
I just look at Whimsy and give a little nod.
It also puts a little like, whoo, dodged a bullet on that one.
Yep.
Now, out of character, I'm not going to make the decision as the council.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So, and the reason I assigned Matt the role that I assigned him is because I wanted him making the final decision of what was going to happen. So, Matt, you get to choose how the council votes.
Yeah.
Out of character. I thought about letting the chat decide, but that's not what I wanted with this story to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
So in the end, Matt, you will get to choose how the council votes overall. And of course, Corvus gets to decide what actually happens to that land, to the holdings, to the land the people once owned, to the titles, to the contracts, the negotiations, the future of shipping lanes, any of that. What I will say that the council does, regardless of how they actually vote, no matter what, they do claim that land as part of the hinterlands and part of their protectorate. And so they do see them as being the oversight, like they are the city-state of the hinterlands. And the people in the hinterlands will be doing their, I don't know, their fealty, their taxes, their whatever, to Mileston.
But to them. Cool.
So if a
Mileston is
Sandpoint
like
goes
the
there on their
capital.
own, then that'll be it. Or if they grow to the size of Sandpoint, there is no war. It's their land.
Yep.
So they just overtake it. So either way, that will be the minimum requirement. But outside of that, the actual vote or exactly how they want to do, I'm going to give to you, because that is your right as the original GM of the Sandpoint area, and that's just your right to have the decision.
Cool.
So they tell you they will vote on it and they will get back to you in a couple hours.
That works.
And they understand that their vote can be overridden by your decision.
Mm-hmm.
So even if they vote one way, Corvus can be like, yeah, that's not happening. Like, obviously, they're already a ratified town, but whether or not this area is under their control, that's up to you. Like, you can assign that.
Yep.
But right now, it's just a town that's recognized.
So looking through, obviously, like Jord, Halis, Finn, and Whimsy would vote for it to go back to Sandpoint, because all of them have given good cases.
Yeah, there being at least there being a shipping lane out of Sandpoint.
At least there being a shipping lane there. Eli, I think, just wants a shipping lane, but he doesn't really like. He's there for the wizard school. Doesn't matter how people get here.
Right.
Whether they come by water or land, they still come here because it's a school.
Right.
And then Sir Jormund, I think is like, in my mind at least, he's finally in a place where he can retire, but he's the highest ranking member of the Crusaders, and now he's like, fuck, they're gonna want me to be like the sheriff or the captain of the guard, and now I gotta like unretire.
He's just the council representative. They already have those ranks in place for what the guards are from the
previous
because
Combine.
There's already a military faction in place. Like Mileston has a military, and they were trained originally by Brian's character, and that's I'm trying to remember the name of
Han.
Yeah, Han's Hands.
Yeah.
So there's the military is called the Han's Hands, and they're the military. They're the guards of the area. They're the ones that are protecting the farmlands currently. They already have ranks and people in position and all of that, and they're being supplemented by the Crusaders that are coming in, looking for jobs.
Okay.
So like they have that, and some of these Crusaders are like, yes, these are my thing, and they'll just apply for higher ranks because they have experience.
That makes sense.
So
yeah, with like a 4-1 with Eli like not really voting, the council does like, yep, we need to have a shipping lane that's on the river. So that has to put it into like the Sandpoint area. And then Corvus says that he'll lay down his plan then, like for everyone in the morning.
Okay. And I'm assuming, do they vote that they want to build a Sandpoint or have it be separate?
They want
or just a shipping lane outpost and see what happens from there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they want a shipping lane outpost, see what happens. Because again, who knows? Like a lot of the refugees settled here.
And the refugees will continue to settle here because they come down from the Abbey Road on the northwest. They will hit Biston's Pond before they hit Sandpoint.
That, and there are houses here.
And
they have to start everything fresh
homes,
in Sandpoint. So after they give us that news, I look to you three, like, friends, I must sleep and then pray on this, but what can I put into my thoughts, into my prayers, to help me decide as friends what are something that you want me to take into consideration? Keshi. Start with you.
This is an opportunity to make a series of towns that respect the nature that supports them. So if that means working with the local fae, building in a way that reflects and supports the nature around it, that would be my ask.
Lord Shaw.
Honestly, I'm excited at the opportunities. I hope for Lady Iska and I that we can. I know we've talked a good game, but I hope that we can showcase to the council the importance of helping to mold this civilization, at least to help protect it and guide it in concerns to those outside influences. I know both of our cities are not going to necessarily idly sit by, but I feel if we give it a guiding hand, we have a chance to make sure, as Keshi said, that we maintain the balance, which I do see as being a very important piece of this community.
And Lady Iska.
What
I see.
what option benefits the most people?
Okay.
People including Fae. They're intelligent creatures. They count.
I'd like to remind the party of the paperwork, the notarizations, and the agreements between Magnimar and Sandpoint and Korvosa and Sandpoint, of which Iska discovered some information, and Eckert Shaw didn't really even look. They all handed their paperwork over to Corvus. I want to remind the party that that information has not been really delved through much more than the cursory examinations.
I mean, as far as I, the player, recall, it was mostly that both cities promised to do things and then failed to do them.
That's what people think. That's the narrative. But the actual paperwork, the agreements, the documentations that you guys had that you hadn't looked at yet. For instance, Iska, you realized that the ships were intentionally diverted, even though it was hidden amongst the paperwork, that the city of Magnimar had no idea those ships were rerouted. When Cheliax attacked. But you only had a cursory glance when Corvus is like, you have the paperwork, and you're like, oh yeah, I've got some stuff here, and you like page through it. And just in your quick page through, you discovered that.
I forgot.
And Rockheim looked at it, it's like, yeah, these are all the papers and agreements, but you're not a merchant. You're not a barrister. You don't write contracts.
Right.
The little bit of contract knowledge you know is from summoning imps.
We hire the Asmodeans to handle that stuff. Yeah.
So you have that paperwork. It was given to you as part of the job.
Yes.
But you had no idea. gave it, those cursory glances and gave it to Corvus. That paperwork still exists. That information is still there. Those were supplied by the cities.
I think Iska doesn't want to bring it up in the council room.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I'm assuming this.
Yeah, this is afterwards because they made their vote.
After,
this is like 2 hours later because Matt said that they made their vote.
Yeah.
And he would.
I thought we were still like in there even though they had voted.
Yeah, I think we kind of like waved the magic wand at the passage of time, and Matt kind of said that's why this is how they voted.
Mm-hmm.
Got it.
And then he's like, I will get back to you tomorrow morning with what will happen.
Okay. So yeah, then Iska says, you may want to look closely at the paperwork from our two cities. Like, very closely.
That's when Caradoc sits down at the table with you guys. The sailor. Which, Eckerd, you don't know who he is. Iska, you recognize who he is. Like, you know of him. Being Magnimarian, he's kind of on your side. Like, he's the bane of Chelish slave ships and Chelish warships. And he just sits down and, as far as you know, he disappeared when Sandpoint disappeared, but he's here.
Interesting.
And he sits down next to Corvus and Keshi. Is like, thank you again for your help.
Yes.
If there's anything I can do to help, you just let me know. I'm here for whatever.
I don't suppose you happen to know why Magnimar's ships were rerouted during the Chelish attack, do you?
I was actually the only one that went out and fought the Chelish ships when that attack happened.
Well, I'm glad you weren't involved in the rerouting.
Me too. He's like, but I don't. As you know, I never worked for Magnimar.
Fair enough. Yeah, Corvus just... The paperwork and the events don't seem to line up.
And Caradoc says, I'd like to know why they didn't come either.
Honestly, so would I. If Magnimar wants to claim any part of it, what happened?
I do find it interesting that Korvosa's all of a sudden pouring a lot of interest into reclaiming an area that supposedly they had links to, but it doesn't seem like they've sent much in terms of support or influence in these past several years.
I think it ties into the founding families were nobles from both cities. But beyond that, from at least my little bit of research, both cities have neglected in their duties from even a militia or, I mean, as far as Korvosa goes, they've never tried to collect taxes, but they've also done nothing to benefit the surrounds.
Right.
Yeah, it's a whole lot of strangeness from somewhat distant cities.
I mean, the distance being part of the case, I could sort of see a half-hearted argument as far as Korvosa wanting to spread their influence to have a site that's a bit closer, but as far as their ties here, I agree, they're pretty loose.
Caradoc goes, when I was a kid, learning the ropes and sailing, there was a Korvosan military that used to come through Sandpoint many years ago. I don't know, 40, 50 years ago. Just food for thought. I don't really know what your discussions is. I just wanted a drink because it's nice to be out.
Yeah.
Out?
He takes a breath, out and about. In the greater world.
Sure.
Well, Sandpoint is demonstrably not there.
Yes.
Do the contracts apply
No,
when? So does it matter?
does not matter.
I think
Sandpoint is gone.
it might only matter in stating that clearly in whatever new paperwork gets filed with your church, as both cities will likely try to claim that, oh, well, the space is still there.
We also, when we are sending our letters to describe everything that has happened, which I know we will have to do, would probably need a
You'll probably have
copy
to go
of
in person
those
and report.
documents. Yeah, but before I head out back to Korvosa to do that, I'd probably want to send them a letter giving them a heads up.
Yes. Same. But making sure that we
I
have
know,
it clearly
I know
written.
it happens on several levels. But
Yeah.
but and actually probably having several copies as when we go back to report.
Yes,
The
church
more
will make
copies
sure
that
they
are
are
out
sent
there,
out.
the harder it is to dispute.
Yes.
I mean, I'm sure the Asmodeans will try, but
That's their problem.
that indeed sounds like their problem.
Not a problem. We will report, and hopefully they don't hurt the messengers.
Yes.
Well, if they do, we have a place to retreat to.
Well, we're coming back here anyway. But
Very true.
Well, thank you, friends. This has given me much to think about. And much to contemplate. And
So-
I'm going to go off to my room to figure stuff out.
All right. You head to your room. We're going to start with you, because I think the stuff you're going to do is going to be the most important in this storytelling. You go off to your room. What's your first order of business?
Going through the list of just like the last census of Sandpoint.
Okay.
Just to see how many families there were.
Okay. Nick doesn't know the number.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I can find it real quick. $1,240.
That was people or families?
That is the population.
So figure
89% humans, 3% halflings, 2% elves, 2% dwarves, 1% gnomes, 1% half elves.
If you want to break it down by families, figure divide by 4 or 5, so there's roughly 200 to 250 families.
Okay.
For easy math.
Sure.
Cool. I then take some of the land maps that I had Keshi make.
Mm-hmm.
And just begin to like figure out like if things were broken up amongst the families, how they would lie. And then plot out like numbers and be like family 1, this would be a plot. Family 2, this would be a plot. I'm to figure out how those that still want land could get to it, as well as like a contract of you have to arrive within the next year, you have to have a permanent residence within 2 years, like stuff like that for building a community. And
Okay.
again, using the manual of city building to pull those rules within the Abadarian law.
So you'll take whatever families have land ownership and redistribute it based on total land or based on what their previous ownership size was.
I am I'm going to take the land that is there and divide it up by the families, not by, if you own 7 parcels, you don't get 7 parcels, you get 1. Which is going to piss off the nobles, but guess what? There are no nobles in the hinterlands. Nobody on the council's a noble. There are no nobles here. And we're going to keep it that way. At least to start.
Chat has redeemed a dice reroll for the GM because I would love to play in an upcoming Tiny Tales, and shamedly I want to gain favor.
It's a good strategy, Stephen.
It is a good
a good strategy.
All right. And then what if
then-
people don't get it? If people don't meet the requirements, then it just goes back to the town.
Yep.
Okay.
And then people can buy more, but it's a way to also drum up money because you have to come in, be able to buy the house, so they got to get the lumber or get the whatever. And then people that are here get first option to buy extra land.
Do they get to pick which parcel based on who comes first?
Yeah, I like that.
So you'll divide it up into equal parts of how many families there are, and when they show up, they can get to pick which single spot is theirs.
Yep. And the claiming day will be during the Swallowtail Festival of next year.
Okay.
Because that was like the biggest Sandpoint holiday.
Yeah, that one and the Pseudo Dragon one were the 2 big holidays, and they were opposite times of the year, I believe.
Yep. And
or
then,
no, the Pseudo Dragon one came a few months after the Swallowtail Festival because they followed the Swallowtails.
Right? Oh, okay. Oh, because they ate them, so probably yeah. And then set up protectorate for the land around the old lighthouse and to rebuild the old lighthouse. Because I know that there's something special about it. And if we're going to have a harbor, having a lighthouse is still important.
Okay.
Because otherwise ships crash into the shoreline.
So when the lots are purchased, they each have to put in money to rebuild that?
Yeah. Or we use the money from Sean Iska as part of a good favor to get them in.
Okay.
To rebuild the lighthouse. Because the lighthouse needs to have like a lighthouse master who could also be the dock master. And we have somebody that needs a place to live.
Okay.
And then looking at ways to try to go with the names of the people of the Fae that we know in the Mosswood from George's contracts with them for harvesting, to figure out if there's any earth or sea-based Fae that might be able to also be protector of the basalt.
Provided nobody moves in there, or
well, that will be in my reveal tomorrow.
Okay.
And those will probably take most of my night.
Okay. Do you look over the paperwork that Eckert and Iska gave you? That you asked them for?
A little bit, yeah, but I just don't know time-wise. Like, so Sandpoint is gone. Any contracts with Sandpoint are null and void. They make no, it does not matter.
That's true, but a lot of your decision making is based on the fact that whether or not they were following through on their agreements or whether or not they followed through on their support.
From everybody I've talked to,
but you don't know
no.
what that official support actually is and whether or not they were actually doing that, what they agreed to. Because they could just be saying that, and maybe it's not true. Maybe they didn't owe Sandpoint a goddamn thing.
I'm cutting them all out anyway, so it doesn't matter what the contracts were.
Okay. Well, it's not all contracts either, but.
Well, yeah, but to give the hinterlands its own sense of self, I am cutting out the other 2 cities.
Okay.
because then the other two cities have no claim.
Okay. What do you do with that paperwork?
I give it back to them.
Okay.
They can archive it for the city of Sandpoint is gone.
Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah, and then I go to sleep, and I wake up and I do my morning prayers.
All right. Keshi, what do you do for the remainder of the evening?
Probably just get some food, drink, hang out with the locals.
Okay. Nothing in particular?
No.
All right. Eckerd, anything you'd like to do with your remainder of the evening?
Yeah, I'm actually going to, I'll order a bottle and a couple glasses. And I'll actually approach Lady Iska. I realize up until this point, we've been talking a good game. But I feel like we should sit down and discuss maybe what we are going to write respectively to our cities, and maybe, well, put together a more formalized plan between the two of us as far as how we want to accomplish our goals with this.
I think that's a good idea.
And so I imagine staying up relatively late as we're brainstorming letter ideas of how to word this fucking thing.
Yeah,
so as
in which
to
at least half of it is going to be, hey, Sandpoint doesn't exist anymore, so if you want to have any say in what happens in this area, you're going to have to make a new contract with Mileston instead, right?
right.
Yeah. So yeah,
That's true, because yeah, we can let them know what the status quo is, but also let them know ways that they can build some businesses in the community if they want to do so, but what the realities of things are.
And both cities are going to be like, you both completely failed us.
Well, so we've also got to put in there how we intend to support their future interests, since it has to be future instead of continued. We've
Hazel,
gotta,
welcome on and thank you for the follow.
Make a show of that, right?
Yeah, politely let them know that if they decide to get rid of us, then that's going to screw up any chances they have, less a show of force to try to take back what.
To have amicable
And
relations in the region.
correct.
It would be not smart to remove us from the equation.
And try to put that in the letter as carrot-like and not stick-like as possible.
Correct, yeah. Like it's we have gained the trust of the people here in spite of years of
I like that. Gain the trust of the people here. I like that.
feelings, yes. So
see? This is why this
yeah.
All right.
Like we gained their trust, and so we can be your voice in negotiating new trade agreements.
Because you being their voice worked so well this time.
Well, it's not our fault.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's directly your fault. You decided to go into business for yourselves. It's totally your fault.
To be fair,
They're not gonna know that.
You know that.
If we weren't here, they were gonna just get fucked over by Corvus's decision to give it all to the people of Mileston anyway.
Right. That's why they sent you, so that wouldn't happen.
Right, and we're giving them an option wherein they can continue to have an interest, as opposed to Corvus just cutting them out completely and
Right.
saying, nope, you never get any interest here at all.
It's the long game.
Yeah. The politicians will understand.
That's definitely going to be a diplomacy check on writing those letters.
Oh yeah.
Go ahead and roll those right now.
All right.
Oh Lord. Do we get to like help each other because we're helping each other compose them?
We'll take the average of your rolls. How's that sound?
No.
Okay, that's not bad. Not bad. 22, not bad. I'll take it.
Where am I looking for this?
Diplomacy.
What is this? Diplomacy. There it is.
What'd you get? I'm on a different page. What'd you get?
14.
So
don't
your
like it.
diplomacy is a
Chat
total
has
of...
redeemed a dice reroll.
Oh!
Thank you, chat. Oops, that's the wrong thing to click.
Yeah, you don't want to disable device.
No, but could I use that 18 plus my 9 in the diplomacy?
You can use
Because I just clicked the wrong button.
Yeah, you can get the 18 on the roll. What would that give you for a total?
It would be a 27.
It brings you guys to a total of a 24.5 on an average of you helping each other. You know, because you're writing yours, but you're also writing theirs, and you're sharing notes. So it's not like you're aiding, because only one person can aid. So I think taking the average,
I think that's fair.
is the worser person is brought up from the better of the person, and vice versa, because you're trying to work together. So, and that's a good roll. So, like, the letters are well written. You find loopholes in each other's that would cover each other's things, and you are able to essentially aid into the point where they will likely be like, oh, all right, this is the best thing we got. You guys kind of suck, but you're the best shot we've got. So that's kind of what it's going to be. Like, the worst case scenario isn't the worst case scenario, but it's pretty close. The families aren't going to take away all your money and kick you out and make you homeless. So that was an option where it's like, yeah, but you could go to that town, but you have no power and you have no money. And now you're just a civilian with nothing but your skills and levels and maybe some of your contacts, provided you're not blacklisted from whatever.
I feel like they have to roll a sense motive on us, because technically they have no idea that we were plotting to make this benefit us.
But they know that they sent you there to work on their behalf, and they got absolutely nothing, and they lost everything.
But they weren't going to get anything anyway.
They also don't know that.
No, that's part of what is in the letter. We explained that.
But again,
In the letter.
you were sent to make sure that does not happen.
Sure.
So, like, yes, you're sending the letter, but they're like, yeah, that's why we sent you, so that wouldn't happen. You're supposed to convince him to not do that, and you didn't, so you failed.
They should have sent different diplomats.
So, yes, your letters. Hello, TR Nickel. Welcome on in. Guys, Tiffany Rose Nichols is going to be joining us for the podcast coming up down the road. Official as of today.
Ooh.
They don't ostracize you and kick you out. They accept the fact that you will be there kind of representing them, but they kind of give that stern warning of like, please represent us better than you did this time, because this could have gone a lot better had you been focused more on saving the town. Is kind of what their response is going to be. We're not going to probably get there unless we play these characters again, but that's kind of what their response is going to be.
Makes sense.
Because they don't know one thing, but they also don't know the other. So from their point of view, you failed them. Your letter keeps it so that nothing bad happens. And you're just going to continue your works with them. Do you... Corvus gives you your paperwork back. And kind of gives the hint that he doesn't fucking care what's on the paperwork.
Okay.
So, if you wanted to do anything with that, that is up to you. Let me know.
I think Iska does want to do something with that. But she's going to bring it specifically to her family first. And she's going to present, like, here's what's in the document.
So You only looked at it at a cursory glance when he asked you for it. You have time to look
I will look
into
more
stuff in more
closely as
detail.
I-
Both of you have time to look at it more detailed if you want to.
Yeah, I mean, Iska would, and
Sure.
she would try to figure out if there was something in there that made sense for why the Magnimar Armada would ignore the threat of Cheliax and reroute. And if there isn't, it's something she would bring up to her family back in Magnimar when she is presenting all of this in person.
Do you want to share the information amongst both of your sets of paperwork and work together like you did just now on the letter?
Yes.
All right.
It's probably a good idea.
Eckerd is willing.
Do you look for help from anyone else? You know that the sailor is here. You know that the bartender is actually knowledgeable. There's Pathfinders nearby. You've met a handful of people in the town.
I mean, before we got into the letter writing, I was going to trade sailor stories with, our...
With Caradoc?
Yeah, with Caradoc.
You could have been doing that before Eckerd came to you.
Great. So, yeah, I would loop him in and be like, okay, so since I mentioned this already, do you want to help me look at this? Because what the fuck? And then, depending on what we find, I may or may not loop in the Pathfinders.
Okay.
But
they're not going to help you look at the paperworks.
No.
Okay, so it's just the two of you and Caradoc.
I think so, because although the Pathfinders have far-reaching influence, I don't want to bring them.
Or any of the other people that you've met, townsfolk, council members, visitors, travelers, adventurers, anything else that you've met along this entire journey that is available to your disposal as well.
I want to get a better look first, personally. Sorry, go ahead.
I'd maybe invite Eli more because he's a wizard and yes, happens to be a council member, but
okay.
That would make sense.
Okay.
Although my interest in having him there is probably less about our scheming and plans and more about being with an academic.
Right.
But it also doesn't help to grease the wheels a little bit, right?
Yeah. And Iska's thinking is really she doesn't want to present this as a problem if it's not actually, because she did only take a quick look, and this is what she suspects based on that quick look, but this deeper dive might reveal that she was completely off. And
it's like, hey, we want to look at this paperwork. There might be something more in there. Nobody's really looked at this in many years, that kind of thing. Eli,
exactly.
Eli is likely one of the most important people that you could have asked to help with this, because he has a fairly high knowledge history, because he's lived through a lot of it.
Sure.
Not that you know that. Well, Iska has a tendency to think that. Caradoc is very helpful because he understands the shipping lanes, and he specifically understands the issue of the Chelish invasion, and he's been fighting the Chelish for a very long time. You also come to find out he himself is Chelish.
Okay.
But he has knowledge he seems to have knowledge about shipping lanes and things that Iska, even you go, nobody's supposed to know that. That's a secret shipping lane. How do you know this? He has knowledge beyond what he should when it comes to that. Caradoc's going to be giving you a +2 on your research. This will be a total. This will be after your average.
Okay.
Eckerd, should you choose in this group research, you can either choose to have Eli aid another, or you can use his skill roll on the roll instead of your own. However, I'm not going to tell you what his skills are.
Right, but which skill in general is going to be used on this? Would it be the knowledge?
So it will likely be a profession barrister, a knowledge history, or a merchant check.
Would knowledge nobility also work in this regard?
No, because that's your knowledge of nobles, not being able to sift through the contracts and the paperwork and the agreements and the assignments and the all of the things that they've given you in regards.
I mean, I do have a decent knowledge history, but I guess you said it's either his role or he aids me.
Correct. So it's either his role or you get a +2.
That would be a +12. That's not bad.
Well, it would be a +2 on the group total roll at the end of the average, just like Paradox.
Oh, I see.
Which means your total roll after you two get your average of your roll would get a +4. Or you get a +2, but you use his skill over your own. Because he's there going through it, because he actually can.
I'm gonna... Once I realize he's got a lot of knowledge in the subject, I think I'm actually going to defer to his skill.
Okay. So, you know which skills you can choose to roll. I'm considering the fact that you are taking your time. So I am going to take that into consideration on the final roll. Because it's not a cursory glance. So both of you, so Iska, you can roll, and I will roll.
Okay.
But Brian, you have to choose what skill he's rolling.
Well, I'm thinking the knowledge history.
Okay.
Because you said he knew a lot about the history of the area, and I feel like the knowledge barrister is the profession barrister is a very kind of niche, specialized training.
Correct. All right, Janai.
And I forget what you said the third one was, but I think the knowledge history seems the most fitting.
Profession merchant.
Oh, merchant. Yeah, and I have no idea about the merchant for him, so I think knowledge history is his best choice.
All right.
Is merchant an easier DC?
You don't know.
I know I don't know.
I'm above the board. You can use any of them, but the DC is the same. I'm just giving you options to do the research because you're taking time and you have lots of help. So I'm giving you the option. The DC is the same across the board.
Okay. I'll use my knowledge history just because it's the better one.
Okay.
Roll 20, don't hate me. Please don't hate me.
This is actually important. I mean, not to what you guys are doing, but to the future of things.
Chat, save me.
You can have my Stephen the Shark reroll if you'd like.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Because I've still got one reroll left in case
Okay.
Eli fails. So.
Are you kidding?
All right.
Okay. Well, that's a thing.
I'll use that GM reroll for you all.
Oh, no. Roll 20, why? Oh, okay. Well.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Dice are telling us they want to tell a specific story.
Chat
has redeemed a dice reroll.
There you go. I still have 2 rerolls from the last couple of games, so I can also reroll.
Oh,
that's better. Would you like to use the other final GM reroll that I had from the last 2 games?
You're rolling for Eli and not.
I have already. I've got one left. I've got the last game and then one from the previous game written down.
Honestly, the 36 ain't bad.
Remember, it's the average.
I know. I don't think we should have you re-roll it.
No, I'm not going to reroll. I'm going to keep it at the 36.
No, he's asking
it's
if
fair.
you want to
If you,
use his
Isco,
reroll.
want to use the last GM for yourself to reroll.
Yeah, I suppose. Roll 20, please. Please don't hate me. Come on.
Because a 4 and a 7, really.
Well,
It's a 10.
it's a 10. That's, good enough. So 18. Vive. Does that count? Oh, well, it's a 20 if it's with the sailors +2.
Yeah, it's not. It's an 18. Because you want that +2 afterwards. You don't want the +2
that's right.
beforehand. Otherwise, you're only getting a +1.
Correct. Yes.
Which
Oh.
brings your average to a 29.
Okay.
Which is good. Something you realize there's paperwork with initials that are the same in both the Korvosan paperwork and the Magnimarian paperwork that are tied to specific restrictions taken from the Sandpoint area at key moments in time. Military support was removed roughly about a week before goblin invasions happened. Both were removed. The Magnimar, they were also removed when the Chelish invasion happened. Just happened to not be there when it happened. You realize somebody specifically has been moving pieces of support away from Sandpoint without the cities of Sandpoint or Magnimar knowing that it's happening during crucial times where Sandpoint needed that support.
Interesting.
You also find clues that key finances were reassigned and written off as losses when those really weren't the case. That money went somewhere else. Not to Magnimar and not to Korvosa. In fact, as far as Magnimar and Korvosa are concerned, they thought that they were supporting Sandpoint as per agreed. In fact, Korvosa has no paperwork that says that they are supposed to send support militarily to Sandpoint, but they were. As far as Korvosa is concerned, they sent it. But somewhere along the lines, their paperwork was manipulated, and those forces were moved at key integral points to fail in the support of Sandpoint. Only the 4 of you know this. Only the 4 of you have found this. The only way anything is ever going to be done is if you yourselves want to run other adventures where you investigate what happened. This is up to you. Or you can just let it be, because Corvus is wiping it all clean anyhow, and it doesn't matter. But you might want to know what happened to Sandpoint.
Yeah.
Because likely, no matter who is here, no matter which town is in charge, there is a good chance it will continue to happen.
That is exactly what Iska's thinking, and she definitely wants to investigate.
The next morning rolls around, Corvus, you wake up, you say your prayers. You get your feeling of civilization and love and support and money. Fabulous money, but civilization, because that seems to be where you tend a little bit more. And balance. because balance is important to Abadar, whether it's civilization old or the wild. You know, law can't exist without a little bit of chaos.
So I meet up with the council, as well as Keshi, Lord Shah, Lady Iska, our esteemed harbor master. And can you move it to the map that has
Yep, the Sandpoint
the
hinterlands.
hinterlands?
Yes, I can.
Cool. And if you want to,
you can make a
roll
sense motive.
Ooh, a 19.
You realize that Iska and Eckerd look like they haven't slept.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kashi looks like she's got some sleep. She still got up, but you could tell she had some drinks last night. You realize that a couple of the council members, well, you realize that that one of the council members, that the Eli, the headmaster of the school, he looks like he also hasn't gotten any sleep. And you see the harbor master and sailor. He always looks like he hasn't had enough sleep, so. But he also looks like he hasn't slept, but he's still wearing the same clothes from yesterday.
Cool. Can you scroll in a little bit more, so like as close as you can, and kind of have Sandpoint in the middle?
You want Sandpoint in the middle?
Yeah, like the dot for Sandpoint. Yep, and then and then scroll in more. Yeah, that works. So what Corvus's plan is he lays down the map that he had Keshi make, because he had Keshi make a map of the Sandpoint, the actual salt or the basalt.
Do you want that map instead?
Fires? Nope.
Okay.
Nope. But then he also had her do the area around the rest of the bay.
And you do know that that little wooded area that you stayed at, that the wizard owns, is this little forest right here.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, you know that it's somehow protected. So no town is going to live there ever.
No.
I'm just in case I didn't know what your plans were. I wanted to point that out.
Yep. So this area down here,
the south side
has
of the bay,
never had houses on it.
Correct. Well, that's not true. If you look at the original map, this bay, it had, so this little point on the left is where the house is.
Yep.
Oh,
but
yeah,
not
yeah,
where
you're
I'm
right.
pinging.
Yep, you're right. You're right.
Because the area on the left is now basalt. The area that I pinged is all marked down. Same with some of the areas on the southern side of the river.
Yeah.
Are marked out into the properties that are numbered.
Okay.
There is a spot that's X'd out, and that's where the new harbor master station and dock will come out.
Okay.
Because that's land that was already there that was never developed, because it wasn't as good as the land on the point, or the land where Sandpoint was. However, that's now the best land in that harbor. And that is where the 200 to 250 or 225 families can choose.
Okay.
All area that is basalt is left as wilderness, except for the lighthouse, which will be rebuilt.
Okay.
There should be a lighthouse keeper. This should be protected, people saved. People have next year's Swallowtail Festival. First come, first serve to pick their land. Land that's not grabbed will then be sold off again to the people that arrived first can buy other plots. Now, will they probably be next to each other? Probably not. Like, who knows? And then from there, there's still the river access. There is land for a new sawmill down there if that's something that they decide to do. They want to cut lumber down there for stuff that goes out on ships versus stuff that gets shipped by the road. Because he's right, if they cut lumber in Mileston, that is easier to get to the road from either north or south for shipping them that way. People that want to buy land, such as Lord Shaw, Lady Iska, can do so after the families that come in on the Swallowtail Festival.
So they can only show up, they have to claim it during the Swallowtail Festival. After that, it's too late.
After that, it's free. Whoever wants to purchase plots can purchase plots.
Okay.
And the Swallowtail Festival is only a day, so it gives those people, like, they show up, they can do it. And then after that, other people can buy plots. The other contract that I have is through George's contract with the Fae to try to find some type of natural presence that can protect the basalt pillars. If nobody can, I would like to hire Keshi to find a druid or a ranger, or even herself if she wants, to take over as protector of Stonepoint, which is the only structure on Stonepoint is the lighthouse.
The lighthouse isn't in the basalt flats. It was miraculously
Well,
left
yeah, because it got missed. But like that's the only
Right.
thing, because everything else is like basalt there.
Yeah.
So the old lighthouse can be there, and someone could walk a trail, but there will be no buildings built there. It is just to be wild cosmic nature, which is what it is.
Okay.
And those that come in, there will be a cost with accordance to the manual of city building book, because they have to like still buy their land back.
Right.
Because
Where does that money go? Who's getting that money?
That money is going to the hinterlands group, whoever manages taxes, whatever, from the hinterlands.
Which is now the city of
Which is now
Mileston.
the city.
Yeah, Mileston is officially, as of today.
Yep. And eventually, if Stonepoint wants to become its own city, more so than just a trading route or a shipping route, then it can. And there are rules on how to do that in the manual of city building.
Okay.
Or if they just always remain a small town, then they remain a small town. But this way it honors both the cosmic nature that is now here, and it still gives plenty of very livable land for the descendants of the last census of Sandpoint to be able to get property. And then I explain in there that Sandpoint is dead. We can't give you what was lost, but we can give you a chance at a new start.
Okay.
And then for the families that don't want to buy in the land, if somebody buys their land, they get like 25% of that fee. So I'm going to make up a fake number, but say the land goes for 100 gold. Somebody buys it, like the Glassworks family doesn't want to buy it. They're all dead except for Amico, but they don't want it. Someone else buys that land, a quarter of it or 25 gold would be shipped off to Amico.
Okay.
This way you still get value if you settled in Mileston and you don't want to go back, there's too many bad memories, all of your family died.
So the family
You're the
will get a
last one.
percentage of the new sold
You get
land.
a percentage of what your family's land was, and you can use that to better your house, put a kid through school, whatever. So this way, any living descendant still gets something, even if they don't want the land or can't afford the cost of it.
Good call.
Okay.
And then as far as Magnimar and Korvosa, they're free to set up new trade deals with the Hinterlands Combine. They can reach the various council members in Mileston, based whether it's going to be agriculture or lumber or mercantile goods. These are the people that right now can help figure out contracts.
Okay. The Mileston Hinterlands.
The Mileston Hinterlands. Yeah. Because we can't enforce contracts for something that is literally wiped off the Galarian.
Right.
And this is kind of the best way that I'm not preventing them from making new agreements. They just have to make agreements with the people that are now in power, because there is no one left.
They're not in power, but they can still make agreements with those who are.
Yep. And then hopefully everybody that is a survivor wins, whether or not they get their land back or get money for land if they've already moved somewhere else.
Okay.
And then if they don't build their house within the year or a structure, then the land becomes forfeit.
It goes back to the town, or goes back to the
town.
Hinterlands.
Yep, and they don't get any of their money back, but it's a way to keep people from like buying land and not doing anything with it.
Right.
Because if I remember correctly, like part of Sandpoint had like a bunch of empty buildings because people bought them and like, oh, they're for future generations, and then nothing happened.
Yeah.
Right.
So that is Corvus's ruling.
Okay. So there will be a town or a settlement or a something that will potentially grow there. A Stonepoint will likely be called. And if at some point Mileston grows large enough to overtake that or not, then it would just be like, that's just the suburb.
Yeah.
As it were. But I don't foresee Biston's Pond, aka Mileston, moving that direction.
Not unless they can find something to do with the platter. Because that's such a big foreboding wasteland right now.
Right. Yeah, I don't foresee that, especially there are some tales that I want to tell in the platter as well. So there's other things to be found and whatnot. So
everybody play druids and just start planting trees in the platter.
Not a bad idea.
With that being said, that is the decision, and that is the Sandpoint decision. Thank you guys so much for being part of this game and deciding what is going to happen in the area and starting off the very first Tiny Tales. If people in the audience have any questions, feel free to ask. If you guys have any out-of-character questions for me about what happened or stories or things that were happening in the background or missed points that you think of, feel free to ask now. We have a few minutes before we raid out here, and now's the time to bring that stuff up.
Not a question.
Yeah.
But Corvus is having him go to see the actual Sandpoint and him realizing that it's actually there in the tapestry world was the reason why he didn't just want to rebuild the city, because the city's there and he couldn't give people land that their people still have.
Yeah.
But he was sworn to secrecy, so I had to figure out a way to let people that are descendants or survivors be able to move in near their family land without giving it to them.
Yeah.
Because that's like double dipping on like
Right.
the previous contracts.
Right.
And if anybody like eventually it's going to get eventually word's going to come out that yes, Sandpoint is still around. And then because people still travel the tapestry, and you can still plane shift and crap to get into it.
Yep.
Eventually it's going to get out, and then suddenly Korvosa and Magnimar are going to be like, remember our contract?
Yeah. But
that
you're
could be
just
a thing.
you're just disillusioning the whole thing, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Penny's Discord got me here. Thanks for the entertainment. Thank you, Hazel. Penny's awesome. We love Penny. Penny Potato. Thank you for joining us.
So yeah, that was my reasoning of why I wanted to separate it out like I did.
I wondered, because that wasn't in my original plans. Maractus / Miles was never gonna show up. It was going to be for a future story where he would show up because he heard about the thing. That was for a future down the road. But because Keshi wrote a single letter to the one person in town, one of two people in town, that would have gotten that to him immediately, is the only reason he showed up. And thus hearing the information is the only reason that he talked to you and found out what you had to say and decided that you of all people needed to know what actually happened so that you could make a informed decision.
Yeah, otherwise, like originally my plan was like cut down the stone, make the new city out of it, put a defensible wall, and give everyone their stuff back, but have it be like a fortress city.
Yeah.
But then realizing that it was still there, then I'm like, nope, can't do that. Have to come up with a different thing.
Out of character, beneath Sandpoint, far below Sandpoint, predating Thassalon, there is something under there of significant evil that is very, very bad. And there are forces in the world that know it's there and are trying to free it. And that's not just Nick. That's canon for Sandpoint that they released since 2nd edition came out. And I'm honoring that I'm honoring that storyline.
Cool.
And I fed bits and pieces into it. There, in fact, is an actual adventure that they've released in 2nd edition. All of the disasters that we've done that aren't canon, half of them actually happen in this adventure.
Oh, wow.
Like, we predicted what they were going to put out, or they saw the shit we were doing. One of the two. And so I was like, this is too perfect to just kind of place in. Obviously, Sandpoint is still there in 2nd edition and in canon.
Yeah.
But there's a lot more where they explain. So, like, all of the, like, and they tie into the Rune Lord stories. Like, why the stuff from the Rune Lords happened. All of the things from Rune Lords that happens in Sandpoint that isn't explained why it happens or just seems happenstance isn't happenstance. It was done by design, and they explain it in that adventure.
Oh,
now,
that's cool.
I'm not going to run that adventure, but I'm going to take bits and pieces from it and use it in some of the future Tiny Tales. So there are some great little tidbits there. But I thought you guys would like to know, and I wanted to explain. I wanted to tell this tale to explain that there is a point with Magnimar and Korvosa, but at the same time, like, it's not actually their fault. And I wanted to explain why all the bad shit happened, but also not make the two cities actually the bad guy, even though they have that's how they're treated, because, the shit happened and they weren't there. End of story. But it's not actually their fault. So I really needed somebody to look at that so that we could end this off knowing that they're kind of in the clear, but that there's more to it than that. And it also gives these characters a chance to return should they like in a different non-Tiny Tales. I mean, it would still be Tiny Tales. It would just be in an adjacent area. But it gives you guys all the openings should you want to play again, and you don't have to say anything now. Tell me out of character. If you want to play these characters again and go down that exploratory route, let me know, and we will do that at some point in time.
I already signed up on your Tiny Tales list on your Discord, so.
But
Yes,
that's for Tiny Tales. That doesn't
True.
necessarily mean you want to continue doing these characters,
I mean, I
right?
do want to continue with Iska and this exploration, but
Okay.
yeah, we can discuss later.
With that being said, thank you guys so much for the hype train today. Thank you for just hanging out and listening to the story and pitching in and channel point redeems on the storylines as well. Again, if you guys want to do some tabletop role playing, Tiny Tales is a game where you, the audience, the people that have been here, the people who have been watching us role play for 5+ years on this stream, that have reached out to me and said, "Can I play with you sometime?" This is your opportunity. Jump into our Discord, sign up, fill out the form, the little form that we have there to come and role play with us on future episodes of Tiny Tales. Give as much detail as you can. Don't be vague. If I ask, what kind of game do you want to play? Don't say any game. Actually, tell me what kind of games you want to play and what kind of games you're good at. Any other information you want that's not asked, feel free to throw it in there. The more information, the better. It'll help me narrow down which players to put you with, which groups to put you with, whether or not I even want you playing or not. That's all important. So, and if you don't get picked, don't feel like I'm not wanting you. It's just there's a lot of stuff there. There's a lot of stories I want, and I want to make sure that we have the right players telling the right stories. So feel free to come on into our Discord and fill out that application and say, hey, I want to play some Tiny Tales. And make sure to check out all of our role plays. Every Wednesday night we do tabletop role playing. A lot of these players that you saw tonight, they're our core players. You can see us in the Claimer's Conquest campaign that happens once a month. You can see the Old School 3 campaign that happens once a month. The new Stolen Souls will be coming out in the next handful of months as well. So you're going to be seeing a lot of tabletop role playing. Brian is going to be running some other campaigns, other systems. We're not just playing Pathfinder here. We've got a whole bunch. Brian, would you tell the people what some of the campaign, what some of the systems are you're planning on running here for us?
Sure. Yeah, in fact, the next one we have set to run is actually going to be, it's called Fabula Ultima, and it is a role-playing game that's kind of like a letter to Final Fantasy and all of those like 8-bit, 16-bit video game RPGs. And it's set up as a very similar kind of setup and design, and it's a lovely, it's a good homage or love letter to all of those kinds of games.
Awesome. So we'll be putting that together. That's not on the schedule yet. We're going to get that on the schedule. We've decided to move where all of our tabletop role-playing games are. We're no longer doing the every 4 weeks thing. To keep it more consistent, it's going to be Old School 3 is on the first week, and Claimers is what we did we say on the 4th week. Claimers Conquest will be on the 4th week. First of the month, first Wednesday of the month is always going to be Old School 3. 4th Wednesday of the month is always going to be Claimers Conquest, unless something shifts and we have to plug something in. But that is the plan. So you no longer have to like count days. You can just be like, okay, what's the 4th week of the month? What's the first week of the month? So you guys can just keep that in mind when future games are coming up. And then when Stolen Souls comes in, that's either going to be the 2nd or 3rd week. And of course, Tiny Tales will be whatever Stolen Souls is not. Tiny Tales is kind of going to be the filler, the floater. Of course, Mark Eberhard will be running some games. I think Tiffany Rose Nickel said she might come over here and run some games for us. So yeah, we're going to have all kinds of cool stuff as far as tabletop role playing. So thank you guys so much for coming on. Thank you, Osu, for the raid today as well. On top of all of the hype train stuff, Osu coming in on the raid. Didn't have to do that. We very much appreciate you. And brand new member of the Be Kinder stream team. And all of our friends, old and new. Penny, first raid on Epic Realms. First person to ever raid Epic Realms. Penny Potato is here today. Thank you so much, Penny, for popping on in and hanging out. We loves you. I hope you are doing fantastic. And of course, Hazel, one of our new people that came in today, just followed today, seems to be having a great time. Hazel, thank you for being here. Thank you for enjoying the show. All of the followers, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you guys. We're going to be back tomorrow We're going to be doing some video gaming tomorrow. I've got access to the new Black Flag. I've been talking about wanting to play Assassin's Creed Black Flag forever. It's a pirate game that I've never played. All of the games that I say I want to play is all based on that, and people are like, well, that's the game you got to play. That's the pirate game. I'm finally playing it, and I'll have Twitch drops as well. That'll be tomorrow and Friday. So thank you guys so much for being here. We're going to raid out to our amazing friend, stream team member. It is her 40th birthday. She's been celebrating since yesterday. She's been doing a 48-hour-long stream. She is doing some streaming together with friends. They are playing a repo. So we're going to go and say hello to the amazing Juicy Fruit. She is so much fun. Lovely human being. A great person. Come along with us. You can use my raid emotes, your raid emotes, anybody's raid emotes. Just make your voices heard. You can copy and paste any of those. You can see the link, all of that. Thank you guys so much for being here. On behalf of the Tiny Tales crew here tonight, have a great night, and we'll see you all down the road. As I find the button that says